was 17, I ran away from home and from everything I had ever known. I was sick and tired, living in a town filled with narrow minds and hate. They used to laugh at me, their children called me names. I would run and hide, feeling so ashamed just for being born. I was just a boy punished for a crime.
Hello, I'm Claudrine Jackson, and I want to thank you for tuning in to A Spoonful of Comfort. A Spoonful of Comfort is my attempt to remind us that this is a time when we need to be comforting each other. A spoonful is the minimum amount of comfort that you can give. We all have a spoonful of comfort, and like a spoonful of medicine may go a long way, a spoonful of comfort may go a long way. I know there are times when a spoonful of comfort went a long way for me. I am also the author of a book inspired by autism, which can be gotten right here at WHPR. In the gift shop. You should come in and see what all we have in the gift shop. The book is called Inspired by Autism, but it could have been called Inspired by a Challenge. Autism was a particular challenge that I had in my life that I needed help with and comfort. So in the book, I have a lot of scriptures and things that comforted me and helped me deal with my challenge. So I've had other people tell me that they had challenges that this book helped them with. Their challenge wasn't autism, but we don't go through life without a challenge. And that's the other reason we should be able to comfort each other, because you never know who is going through what kind of challenge. I want to say thank you to Susan Keskeny, who has made a nice donation to the Purvis Foundation. You know, the foundation could not continue on without the help of the public. And we became on a national list. It's the Purvis Jackson Jr. Autism Foundation. Purvis Jackson was the bass singer of the Spinners, and my husband, we were the parents of a son who's handicapped by autism. Our son had blessings that maybe other children don't have. So the Purvis Jackson Autism Foundation helps lower income children with disabilities. We started locally, and I don't know how we got on a national list, but I had a school social worker from Massachusetts contact me about a young 18-year-old boy with autism whose mother was sickly and was in the hospital a lot. And they wanted the Purvis Foundation to pay for him to go to camp. He was in Massachusetts. The camp was in New Hampshire. Anyhow, the Purvis Foundation paid for him to go to camp. And he sent me a card, which is the first card I've ever received from the actual recipient of the funds from the foundation, because usually it's the parents or the social worker or somebody that responds. But he responded and said that he had been wanting to go to camp all of his life, and he was so thankful to the Purvis Foundation. So I'm really thankful to be able to help people. And I can't help everybody, but I can help somebody. And now, a few years ago, I was a member of the Detroit Free Press Talkback Board. And the Talkback Board was people in the community of all ages, and we responded to the editorials. The editorial director, his name was Ron Dzwonkowski then, he would send us his editorial for Sunday. He would send it to us on Wednesday, and we would respond to it. And I thought that was great, being able to give feedback on whatever his editorial was. So I want feedback too. Is anybody watching A Spoonful of Comfort? I hope so, but I don't know. So next week, I'm going to start the call-ins so that you can call in and give me comfort. Give me your favorite scripture. Let us know what comforts you. But your comfort for today is Psalm 25:22, Cast thy burdens upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never have a righteous man to be upset. That's paraphrasing. Also, Romans 8:18. The sufferings of the present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory that will be revealed in us. So when we're going through our sufferings, we don't know what's on the other side. And for me, many of the sufferings that I've gone through, I came out on the other side a better person. So maybe that's what your sufferings are for. Also, John 14:27. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. We are all in this together. I'm going to talk to you in a minute about one of my favorite people who had a great impact on me, and I want to I want to give him some respect. I'm talking about Martin Luther King, because last week was his birthday, and I didn't mention anything about what an impact he had on me. I also want to remind you about the Purvis Foundation. If you need help from the Purvis Foundation, you can go to the website pjjraf.org, and where it says contact us, click on that, and you can fill out a request for assistance. Also, if you want to donate to the Purvis Foundation, it's Post Office Box 04422, Detroit 48204. And we're accepting donations and requests for assistance. And like I said, I can't help everyone, but I can help someone. So hopefully you will stay tuned, and I will be back after a short break. Welcome back to A Spoonful of Comfort. I hope that during the show there will be something that comforts you, and I hope that next week you call in and give us some comfort. I wanted to talk to you about Martin Luther King, but first I wanted to talk about Miley Cyrus. I always say that the music of the 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s is so much better than the music of today. But Miley Cyrus had a song that made a lot of impact on me, and it's called The Climb. And she says, every step I'm taking, every move I'm making, some may knock me down, but I'm not breaking. I have to be strong and keep moving on. It's always going to be an uphill battle, but I have to climb. A lot of times we are climbing and we feel like we're not getting anywhere. But that brings me to Martin Luther King, who was fighting an uphill battle. And I'm sure that most of you know about the Michigan Chronicle. It's our black newspaper. And the black newspapers got started because the other newspapers weren't writing about black people. So the Michigan Chronicle has been in business for many years. I've been featured in the Michigan Chronicle. I've written things that were published in the Michigan Chronicle. But last week, the last issue of the Michigan Chronicle, they had a very good article about Martin Luther King. So Keith Owens, who is the senior editor, had written some things about Martin Luther King that I felt that were worthy of being shared. One of the things is that Martin Luther King said, we have all come here to this country in different ships, but we're all in the same boat now. Not only black people, white people, everybody came here in ships except the Indians, but he says we're all in the same boat now. Martin Luther King also said, change comes through continued struggle. We must straighten our backs and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent. So back in the 60s, when Martin Luther King was doing all this, I was not a part of it. I was not a part of the marches and the sit-ins and the people going to jail. I had little kids. I had a job. I felt like they were fighting a losing battle, and I could not be a part of it. But as Keith Owens says, now we're finding out that all the gains we thought we had made, we may be in danger of losing. And I couldn't understand the marching and the going to jail and the sit-ins. I didn't understand what would make people feel strong enough about something to put forth that energy and that effort. And I just didn't understand it. And then one day we were at in Memphis. I was with the other spinners' wives. They called us the Spinnerettes. So the Spinnerettes were in Memphis at a hotel, and next door to the hotel was a restaurant. And the restaurant said pizza, burgers, chicken, had bright lights, and come on in, and their hours they were open, and you can get food. So one of the Spinnerettes and I decided, well, let's go over there and get something to eat. So we went over that evening, and we were walking down the stairs. The main room was downstairs, and as you came in, you had to walk down the stairs to come into the room. So as we were walking down the stairs, I saw this man running toward us, and it didn't dawn on me why he was running toward me. And just as we got to the bottom of the stairs, he approached us and asked us how he could help us. And we said, well, we came to get some food. And he said, well, this is a private club, and we can't serve you here. But if you want to order something, you can sit, and he showed us this tiny little table in the back. You can sit at that table and wait for your food, but we can't serve you here. And it dawned on me, I was being rejected from coming into a restaurant. This man didn't know that my husband had a hit record. He didn't know who we were, but he just let us know that we could not be served. And the feeling I got on that instance was the feeling that I said, that's how they feel. I wondered what could push people to do these things. When I got that feeling, I knew this is what pushes them to do things. Now, Martin Luther King and Mr. Owens both say if no one ever worked toward a desired result, nothing would ever change. And I need people like that to inspire me to try to change things. Owens said that we're not losing just the we're not losing just the idea and dream of America. We're losing the nuts and bolts that hold this country together. Also, that that they're coming undone. Also, that the brokenness of the human spirit is being exposed. And we can see that. We all know what's going on in the world. Mr. Owens also said that we congratulated ourselves prematurely on a civil rights and human rights victory that had not really been won. It's not easy to accept the truth that we never really arrived at our final destination in the fight for freedom. All the marches and the jails and the sit-ins, and we thought we had equality, and we were wrong. Now they're trying to take us backwards. And like I said, I was not a part of anything back then. But now that I found my voice, I can speak out, and which is what Mr. Owens was saying, that we should speak up when we see injustice, those of us who are willing to speak up. And there was another article in the same issue of the paper by David Bullock. And David Bullock was talking about Senator John Conyers. And John Conyers is a senator that introduced the bill for the Martin Luther King holiday. And it took him years. He introduced it right after the assassination. It took him years to get this bill passed. But he finally did get it passed, which is an example of perseverance and sticking with something. John Conyers was elected in 1964. He was responsible for helping get the Civil Rights Act passed and getting the Voting Rights Act passed, and helpful for us getting our civil rights. So it's very important that we don't forget our history, because they say those who don't remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So I'm very proud of David Bullock and Keith Owens for both inspiring me to want to speak out about what's going on. I know that we probably won't be marching and sitting in anymore, but I know you've seen the women's marches, how many women are marching. So sometimes when something comes along that upsets you, it's for a reason. The reason is to light a fire under you, as fires have been lit under some of these women. There's one lady, I didn't get her name, who has been elected to office. And she said that during the Women's March, when they first did the Women's March a year ago, that his reply was, I hope they get home in time to cook dinner. He was not affected by it at all. And her reply was, she was going to run against him. And she ran against him and she won. So I said, sometimes when things happen, they happen to motivate you. Just like my son's disability, he can't talk, motivates me to talk. And I don't want to just talk just to be talking. I would like to give somebody a little something to think about. Now, I talked to you before about karma. I hope you remember about karma. Karma says that what you put into the universe is what you get back from the universe. I mentioned Susan Taylor last week. She said, greet the world with love in your heart. What you put into the universe is what you get back from the universe. You have to reap what you sow. I know you've heard about reaping what you sow. It means the same thing. What you put into the universe is what you get back from the universe. What goes around comes around. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. All of these are about karma. And karma will get you. So if you're not being the best person that you can be, I don't mean all the time. We can't always be the best person that we can be, but we can sometimes. I want to remind you of Inspired by Autism, which is should be inspired by a challenge. I'm the author of Inspired by Autism. Let There Be Light, which is my first book, which is not on sale now because it's out of print, and also Mornings with Jesus. This is it's one of the Guidepost publications, and it's a very good short little something. I don't read it every morning, but it's very good something to read in the morning to get you started. So I'm going to take a short break. I hope that you are sticking with me, and I will be back in a few minutes. And don't forget, A Spoonful of Comfort every Tuesday at 1:30. Thank you for staying with me. I hope you're not tired of me reading my poems. I have another poem that I've written that I want to read to you, and I have to read them because nobody else is reading them. So I thank WHPR for giving me a voice and giving me an opportunity. I've thanked Henry Tyler, and I've thanked R.J. Watkins. I even thanked Renee, but I haven't thanked Maxine Willis. Maxine Willis has been my guide and my guru through this endeavor, and she has been very supportive and encouraging and helped me, so I greatly, greatly appreciate Maxine. This is called A Love So Pure, and this is the poem that I never thought I would write, and this is dedicated to my son. Back during the years when he was giving me so much struggle, so many challenges, and so many problems, I never thought I would write this poem. It's called A Love So Pure. A love so pure that I am sure is coming straight from God. This kind of love comes down from above and right into my heart. Your smiling eyes were a big surprise that I never thought I'd see. So who knew that one day you would be smiling down at me? How could I guess that I'd be blessed for taking care of you? You've taught me a lot of things about how love can be true. I never thought the day would come when you'd be teaching me. But now I'm sure that when love is pure, it's unconditionally. That's a poem, like I said, I never thought I would write. This child that gave me so many challenges, he's much taller than I am now, but now he will get me by the shoulders and look at me with love and smile. And his love is unconditional. He doesn't care what I'm wearing, how my hair looks, how much money I've got in the bank. He loves you unconditionally. And he taught me about unconditional love. So, like I said, I never thought the day would come when he'd be teaching me. Now, when I talked about Martin Luther King and talked about what he was trying to accomplish, and I didn't think he was going to accomplish it, but he did not let himself be deterred. And something that I had to learn is that success is a journey. It's not a destination. And Arthur Ashe, our tennis player, said that the actual doing of it is more important than the outcome. And the actual doing is what helps you to grow. And I equate that with me doing this show. I never planned on doing a TV show, but my husband always thought I should be out speaking somewhere. I used to be a speaker for United Foundation, and going out trying to get people to donate to United Foundation. That was one of the things that I used to do to help not just people with autism, all handicaps. So I want to remind you that you can take the high road. Take the high road. The low road is more crowded. You can also take the high road because there the view is better. And I also want to remind you, don't make promises. Don't let your mouth make promises that your behind can't keep. So I'm going to be signing off. Claudine Jackson, A Spoonful of Comfort, 1:30 Tuesdays. I hope you will tune in. And next week, I'll have the call-in numbers because I need feedback. I need to know, is somebody watching? What do you think? If you disagree with me, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to see eye to eye to walk hand in hand. But I would like some feedback and like to hear, and I'd like some comfort. You call in and give me comfort. So until next Tuesday at 1:30, I will see you or you will see me. And God bless you, and I love you.
When I was 17, I ran away from home and from everything I had ever known.
I was sick and tired, living in a town filled with narrow minds and hate.
They used to laugh at me, their children called